we need to talk about the playoffs. Bradford City have defeated Salford City 2-1. Is the playoffs back on? Now, shoot me now, because I've gone delirious. I think there's a chance. There's always a chance, but there is a chance, a small chance, but a chance nevertheless. We're 5 points off the playoffs. With a game in hand on a couple of teams. Now, Harrogate, if they win all our games, which is 2, they end up on 68 points. If we win all our games, that's 69. So they're out of it. Same with Wimbledon. If they win all those games, they're on 68. So they're out of it. Gillingham, we've got a much better goal difference by 7. So, again, if we win all their games, they do, then we'll finish above them. So that's them out. So it leaves a straight shootout between... You could count Barrow, but I wouldn't, because, again, in terms of contrasting forms between us and Barrow, they will end up having to have 3 points, well, 2 points because of a massive goal different swing. They will get 2 more points from now to end of the season. So you'd imagine that they'd end up getting in the playoffs. So it's mainly between us, Doncaster and Crawley and Walsall. Now, we do have to play Walsall, and they're not on a great run because they've obviously lost the last 2. And they're a funny team. But the thing is with League 2, and something we've been saying for a long time, and something I've sort of debated or wondered myself, is League 2 ultra competitive and one of the most competitive League 2s ever, one of the most competitive leagues in the English tiers, or is it just really bad? Now, I think this is probably one of the best League 2s ever, and that's why I think it's so competitive. But I think there's a real problem with teams having a bit of character, because there's so many times when all these teams are up there fighting for the playoffs, they've all gone on a good run. We have, February, December, now, gone on a good run of unbeaten games, winning streaks, and then they've gone on a really bad one where they can't seem to find a draw or win or even a clean sheet. And that's happened with us and a lot of teams. So it's really all about whoever gets the form. Now, Doncaster are obviously the form team, and everyone will say Doncaster will get into top 7. But the thing is with Doncaster is they've won the last 8 games, I think it is. Can you see Doncaster going 11 games winning 1? I can't. And that's basically what they need to do. And I can't see that. And the teams have got Barrow, Colchester, Gillingham, and Colchester fighting for their lives. They've beat Crawley 3-2 today. So it's well open. Let me know, just as a Bradford City fan, neutral, who you think is going to get in the top 7, and have Bradford City got a chance to do so. I think we've got a chance, but we've got to win all our games, and we've got to have a lot of luck that teams don't. And today, that is an example of what we need to happen for the next 2 weeks, where we win and teams lose. So there's a chance, but we need a miracle. But we're keeping the dream alive, and that's all you can ask for as a football fan and as a Bradford City fan. But you put in good performances, you get wins, but the main things are there, that you're putting effort in, you're creating chances, you're getting the fans on side and getting the chance going, because the fans are getting a reason to get behind the team, and that's what we've done. I went to Salford, first time I went to Salford, and I was actually quite surprised, because when I got there I thought, God, you're like being in a tin of sardines here, you're crammed in, the roof's up there, seats are here, the really tight condensed stadium. But I actually then thought, I actually like this, standing's always quite good anyway. But, chance were going, you're close to a pitch. The stadium had a real nice old feel to it. Behind the goal, you've got a bit of a fan zone area, which we've attempted and massively failed. And also the security were quite good with the searching, and it was quite easy to get out of the stadium. So I actually really like the stadium, as much as it will get, and probably deserves as well, a bit of criticism. It was actually surprisingly good. So yeah, I quite liked Peninsula Stadium. And Salford, yeah, like I said in the preview, not a great team, quite aggressive. The referee was shocking. Loads of niggly fouls that didn't go our way. Andy Cook got absolutely wrestled so many times, shirt hanging off. He could barely walk sometimes. Not a single foul went our way in terms of that. We had a penalty appeal. I didn't think it was a penalty, but then for the same tackle that Smallwood put in, I think he got booked for it, but it definitely was a foul. Inconsistency all the way throughout, and didn't give us a single thing. Terrible referee, and his first ever game beat City. I don't want him to referee another, but talk about it every week, talk about it every game. All the referees are rubbish, so what can you do with them? But yeah, the performance I thought was, like I said, briefly, quite entertaining. I thought for the first half of poor, the first part half of poor. It were two teams who were seeing out the season. Really, that's what it felt like. They want a lot of energy for either team. They want a lot of second half. We saw a lot of energy and passion and chances created, shots off, a good tempo to our passing. Zipping across the pitch, and we got a load of chances away. First half, it wasn't that really. 10 minutes or so, yeah, you could see a bit of it, but there were a lot of loose touches, a lot of touches from defenders and midfielders, and then sideways passing, backwards passing, hoofing it to Cook. He got handled. They hoofed it to Smith. Platt and Smith had come off 50-50 with those in terms of winning the aerials. It was just a really dull game. Not really happened. It didn't really flow. Like I said, referee started it a lot. But then second half, we were right up for it, and we dominated them in the second half. Like I say, getting shots off. We came close on a couple of occasions. I think there was one chance where we had 3 shots in one, cleared off the line. Even Kavanagh, I think it might have been, it was second half because it was shooting towards us, and really good save by Cairns by pressing high. So the attack deserved the praise for the high pressing and getting good turnovers, creating a lot of chances, forcing mistakes, and I think definitely second half could have been 3 or 4, to be honest with you. Actually, I don't even know who scored. Was it Cook or was it Kelly who scored the goal? It was Kavanagh. Oh well done, Cal, because I thought he had a good game anyway, but I didn't know he scored from that free kick. It was actually funny because I don't know if anyone watches me who were around me, but it was hilarious, to be honest with you. All the way through the first half, this man in front of me, I didn't know his name. Nice man. He said, I don't know if he just said it to someone or if it was just out loud, but he said Smallwood's best player on the pitch by a mile or something along the lines of that. Smallwood's best player on the pitch, and someone reacted and said something along the lines. It wasn't the word, so I alluded, and it was a bit back and forth, and then it kept going on, and then Smallwood had a free kick, and then the man in front who said he's best player on the pitch by a mile, he said, this is going in the top corner, and going. And then Smallwood passes it out on the floor, on the full for a goal kick. That was hilarious in itself. But then it happened again. Smallwood got a free kick on the edge of the box, and obviously as the half were going on, he's finding it harder to defend his point because of Smallwood wasn't having a great game, and the set pieces were absolutely woeful. Anyway, so he said it again. And then the cross comes whipped in with pace. It's a delicious ball in for someone to get their head on it. And there's Callum Kavanagh to get it into the back of the net. And it was a brilliant cross from Smallwood. And then it just erupted. It probably did across the stand, but more so in that area because of what was going on. So that was great. That was a moment of the match. Possibly, month in reviews, I'm always looking for more things. That's probably moment of the month. Now then, Bradley Halliday. Don't know what his middle name is, but he gets credited for the full name of his words, or whatever he wants to call him. If he prefers Brad, I'll call him Brad. But at the end of the day, I'll call him Jesus bloody Christ if he wants me to. I'll call him the Messiah. I'll call him the Ginger Cafu, because that's what he is. That goal, Ginger Cafu, Cafu himself would be impressed with that strike. It was absolutely unbelievable. And it's something he's got many strings to his bow. And that's another string to his bow that he's added recently. And then he's just absolutely hammered it into the bottom left-hand corner again. But this time it's clean, it's thorough, and it's an unbelievable strike. And you can't take nothing away from it. I thought when he came up to it, I thought if he hit it first time, he took a touch. His touch seemed heavy, and I thought, no, coming at it. But it's a goal. Unbelievable, and it was great, and it won us the game. And I didn't vote for him as my player of the season. I should have, but I didn't. And I'll tell you I did in due course in a couple of weeks. But let me know you voted for your player of the year as well. But I wanted to vote for him, but there's someone else who I do really like who I'd voted for. You might be able to guess. If you can guess, try a guess in the comments. But just didn't get my player of the year, but probably deserves it now. To be honest with you, there's no one like him. There's no one like him. He's a great guy. You can tell. You can just tell by looking at him. He's a great guy. He's got this spirit about him that lifts everyone else. And best of all, he's got the ability. You know, he can pull it all off. He's unbelievable and won us the game, and he's kept the dream alive. Whether it's achievable, probably not, but it's still there. And whilst, you know, it's like an ageing person. It's like David Attenborough. You know, he's coming towards the end. He's still going strong, still doing everything he wants to achieve. You know, the heart's still beating. The heart is still beating, and that's all that matters. You know, he might be 97. He may be expiring soon, but that heart is still beating. And whilst our playoff hopes are still mathematically possible, the heart's still beating. The dream is still alive. So maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. We'll find out We'll find out at some point, won't we? And we'll see. It could surprise you. It could surprise you, but it won't surprise me if we come 8th and miss out on goal difference because we conceded 5 to Mansfield. But because that would be a bantam thing. But the player ratings then, rabbited on enough about that, I think. But player ratings, Sam Walker 4. The goal, don't think he could have done much about. The players had so much time and space, not being closed down, and he's just levered it into the back of the net. I don't think he could do out about that. What he could do about was the amount of crosses that he claimed. Unbelievable. You know, big strikers, loads of crosses coming into a box, and he claimed them all. Were they like monstrous runs that he made from out of his box? No. But did he claim some high crosses that were coming into a box? Yeah. And he took a lot of pressure out the back three. So credit to him. Another good performance from Sam. Brad Halliday, already spoke about him enough, so I'll save you the time and I'll just give him a 4-man a match. The back three, Dan Oyegoke, he gets 4. I thought he had a good game. Really good on the ball, brings the ball into the midfield, really composed on it. He played some good balls into the attacking third in that first half, and then second half, do a really good last-ditch tackle that he made. And he made one in the first half as well with his recovery pace. So I thought he had a good game again, Dan Oyegoke. So in the community tabs, do yours, 1 being the worst, 3 being the average, 5 being the best. And let me know your thoughts as well in the comments as well on the players and what you think about them, not just today, looking ahead to next season as well. It's a big discussion point. Matty Platt, 4. First half, I'd probably give him a 2. I thought he struggled. Obviously, I'd have to say it again, but seemed to be at fault for the goal. He seemed to lose more than he won against Matt Smith. But second half, Matt Smith didn't notice him. He got completely dominated by Platt. And he was completely consistent throughout that second half and was key to us keeping the clean sheet in the second half and keeping us very solid and kept us calm at the back, and that's what he brings. So another 4 from Matty Platt. To the left of him was Kevin Kelly, who gets a 4. Close contender for man of match because I thought throughout the game, absolutely rock solid. Note got past him. Really good tackles, passion. Tariq Wright, now 4. Really good performance again from him. What surprised me with Tariq is how good he is defensively as well, because playing a winger in left wing back, you expect him to be lazy, jogging, don't get down, don't get tackles in, switches offloads, and really just looks to be hitting on the counter, uses his pace. None of that. He's been work rate great, tackling pretty solid. A couple of crosses at let in too easily for me. But as a left back, you expect, as a winger playing in left wing back, you expect that. And he got into some really good positions today that give us that extra threat that we don't have, and a lot of teams don't have, because they don't have that player who's got that nous in the attacking third in a more deeper position, so they're not getting that space that they normally get. Midfield, Richard Smallwood. Discussions, debates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I've never known a man so incredible at dividing a fan base. I can't understand how he's managed to divide the whole fan base on him as a footballer. Now, I think I'm possibly the only one who neither hates him or rates him, to be honest with you. I just think he's a steady Eddie. For me, I give him a 3 because I don't think he's either great or bad. He put a good cross in for Kavanagh's goal, a load of hooked balls in behind that didn't really go, and defensively put a few tackles in. I think that's just him. He's just alright. Walker, he gets a 4. I think he could have been better. He keeps, something I've noticed a bit more recently from Walker, he's keeping it a lot more simple, a lot more neat, a bit more intricate than he has before. Less shots off, less sort of crosses, less frantic football. It's more simple short passes, and I don't mind that, because obviously when you've got Cavan, who's quite eccentric, quite energetic, all action. Bobby Point, who thrives off the fan base. They're just action players. They just want something to happen. Walker, as a bit more experienced player, is that, but he can be more composed in those areas. So I think he were good and put a lot of energy in, a lot of tackles, and I think it was right to bring him off when he did, and Poynton, to freshen up the midfield, and it definitely helped, and it definitely created potentially the goal as well, because both players who replaced him, Gillade and Odra, give that extra bit of energy, different threat in the final third. And I thought I think Odra actually were central to how the Halliday goal came about, or if he wanted, it was just before that when he nearly scored. So they definitely worked as well. But yeah, Jamie Walker, solid enough. Bobby Poynton, 3. I thought, for the most part, decent. Good passion. Got on the ball, got into some good areas, good turns, good passing into a final third. But then there were a few too many moments where his touch was just a bit too heavy, or just a bit too off, or his pass was just a bit wayward. Just happened a bit too often. And again, I thought it was right to bring him off when he did, and it changed the game, and he had a good impact on the game when he won it. So yeah, but I just thought it was a bit average for me today. Kavanagh gets the 4. He was a bit more wasteful, I felt. He's a player who I don't think's particularly great technically, but that's where he can improve. Andy Cook, I don't know. I'll give him a 3. I thought he was average. First half, I actually felt he had 2. Right, all right. He had 2 chances, should have buried them. If that's Tyler Smith, am I talking differently? Probably, but I have a right to be, because Andy Cook's top 10 goal scorers of all time in our history in 3 years, kept us up in the first time he was here, second time carried us into a playoffs, and in this third time got nearly 20 goals this season to either keep us away from the relegation areas or push us into a playoff push at numerous times in the season. So I have a right to be, when Tyler Smith has only scored against kids. So there's that, but he should have scored the 2 chances. But I think his overall play were good. I felt he held the ball up well, linked up well, offered a target. He was getting manhandled by Tilt, and the referee didn't help him out. And I thought his overall play was unselfish and helped the team get the 3 points. So let me know your player ratings in the comments down below or in the community tab. 1 being the worst, 3 being the average, 5 being the best. Let me know your thoughts on the game as well in the comments down below and everything we discussed. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you're new, all the support is massively appreciated. Check your diaries. Have a good one.